Hi guys, so today we are going to do the question. Find the kth bit in the nth binary string. Right, so given two positive integers n and k, the binary string s of n is formed as follows. Initially s of 1 is equal to 0, like a 0 string, and then s of I. Each successive string is made of s of I minus 1, that is the previous string, plus we add 1 and then reverse. On inverting, we reverse the s of I minus 1th string. So we'll look at it, what this has to say to us, where plus denotes the concatenation operation, reverse of x returns the reversed string x, and invert of x inverts all the bits in x. 0 changes to 1 and 1 changes to 0. So we are given this the sample cases how we have to build each successive string, and we'll look at how this is being done. So, and what the question actually has to say is return the kth bit in s of n. It is guaranteed that k is valid in the given n. So let's look at the pattern. So initially s of 1 is given as 0 string, right? And then what we have to do is after like s of 2 will be s of 1 plus we'll insert a 1 extra, and then what we will do is like invert s of I minus 1. So inverting 0. Inverting 0 means all zeros are converted to 1 and ones are converted to 0. Right, so it has a 0 in it. So we'll invert that character, and then what we have to do is reverse this, right? So reversing 1 will again create 1 here. So what would be the string? S of 0 is 0 plus 1 and 1. So this is the S of 2 that we will produce, right? And then S of 3 will similarly be S of 2 plus we'll add a 1 at the end of S of 2, and then what we will do is first invert S of 2, S of 2, and then reverse it, right? So inverting s of 2 would mean each 0 is converted to a 1 and each 1 is converted to a 0, right? So this is the inverted string. And on reversing means that the 0th bit becomes the last bit, and like first and the last bit are reversed, are swapped, and then the second and the second last bit are swapped. Similarly, this bit remains the same. So after reversing it, it becomes 0, 0, 1. So here we can write this, and initially s of 2 is 0, 1, 1, and we'll add a 1 and then 0, 0, 1. So the string becomes this, which is equal to 0, 1, 1, 1, and then 0, 0, 1, right? So this is a string that is S2, S3, right? And similarly, we'll continue this process n number of times with n number of k number of n number of times, and then we'll have to find the kth bit. For example, the second bit in s of 3 will be the second bit will be 1 and 2. So the second bit will be 1, right? So if we use the 0 indexing, then it will be s of k minus 1th bit is what we have to return. So let's start with the coding part. So basically what we are given is n and k. So we'll initially take the first string as 0 because it is what we are given with, and then we'll take a temporary string temp and another string s. So we'll have to iterate n number of times because we have to find the nth string what it is, right? And then what we are doing here is we are basically uh, so actually what we need to do is we need to have an unmodified string as well as we need to have a temporary string. What we are doing is suppose s of 2 is 0 1 1, right? So in the manipulation that we have to do, we need to invert it. So we'll make a temporary copy to the string as temp and then update the string. Like we need to first reverse it, right? So we have an inbuilt stl function for reversing a string that will be reverse, and then we'll pass in the temporary string from starting to end, right? So let's see what we're doing here. So basically temp equal to f. This is the string that is formed in the last step, right? So this was the first step. So temp equal to f, and then we reverse the string, right? So what happens to this string is it becomes 110, right? And then we'll iterate over this string temp. So because we need to invert the string, so basically we are manipulating the values in the string, and so we are passing this ampersand sign. If we do not pass this ampersand sign, then the updates are not permanent, right? So char ampersand c of temp, we are basically iterating each character, right? So the string is 110. So we take the first character, we check if it is 1. If it is 1, we convert it to 0, and then we again iterate to the next element, that is 1. So it is 1, so we update it to 0. Again, since it is 0, we'll update it to 1. So this is what the for loop is doing. If c is equal to character 0, not 0, it has to be character 0, then we update it to character 1, else character equal to 0. And then what we'll do is, now since we are forming the nth string, like whatever string it is, so what we are doing is s of n minus 1, that is the original string. S of n minus 1 was the string in the previous iteration, right? Then we are adding a 1, concatenating 1 to it, and then we are adding the temporary, that is the manipulated string. Temp string is basically inverted plus reversed string. So here we get the string in this iteration, and after n iterations are done, we need to return the kth string, kth character. So we return it, and on submitting, we will get a correct answer for this code. So talking about the time complexity, we can see that we are doing n iterations, and for each iteration we are basically iterating over the string once, right? So we are talking of a time complexity in n, there are n iterations, and each time we are iterating over the length of the newly formed string. So this will be the time complexity. I hope everyone is clear with the approach, and the code is this. So bye guys.